Hi. I'm really sorry it's been so long since I posted. I've got a hat on because my hair is just awful. It's like, yeah, I desperately need a haircut and a dye, but I've been so poorly recently, as you can tell. I haven't been well enough to have my hair done. Nothing. I've not been well enough to do anything. I've got a little rainbow nose stud in. How cool is that? Because my hole's stretched, which I guess must be an Ed's thing. I have to put earrings in because nose studs literally go straight through into my nose, so I have to use earrings, which is kind of cool because you get way more, choice. Sorry, I got my music on in the background. I have a playlist called Hold On, and it's all songs that get me going and make me brave, So today it might be a bit of a long one, and I apologise for that. But I want to talk about PIP. Let's just all do this, shall we? Let's do PIP. Should we talk about PIP? DLA, dead straightforward, perfect. PIP, jeffing nightmare. I cannot tell you how much time I have spent crying over PIP. So I'm going to go right back to the beginning, and then we'll update you to now. Okay? At the beginning, sorry, I look so unwell. I'm sorry, but I am so unwell. We're sort of at crisis point with me at the moment because I've not been able. I've had one feed since before Christmas. I've lost 3 stone. I'm being sick all the time. I maybe go like a few days without being sick, and then sick. But I cannot keep anything down. I've got some water, but the dietitian sort of said that it might be time to go into hospital. But I'm really fighting that. I don't want to go into hospital. No way. So I'm going to see my GP on Monday, and she said that I've got a little anti-sickness in my lip at the moment, but ironically they make me feel really sick. Sorry, I'll just turn her down a little bit, shall I? There we are. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that they seemed like yesterday I wasn't sick. I was on a roll, it was great, but yeah, not the case today. Tony's gone out with Amelia. So let's go back to PIP. I get a letter to say that I'm moving over to PIP from DLA. Fine, knew it was happening. Because of a clerical error with the DWP and the PIP section of the Department of Work and Pensions, we went for 4 months with no benefits. Because what happens is, if I lose my PIP, Tony loses his carer's allowance. And it's only £60 a week anyway. We worked it out once and it's like less than a penny an hour. But anyway, there you go. So we went 4 months without any benefits. And we were basically being completely supported by the church for food and stuff like that. A few people gave us some money. But it was absolute hell. We got completely behind on all of our bills. And they do backdate it, which is fine, but obviously we didn't get any of that money. We had to pay all these bills off, and normally we can pay our bills and then have like food shopping and stuff like that. And with this, we couldn't because we were behind, really behind. We didn't have anything left over, so I went for my PIP assessment. I got called in for my PIP assessment. Fair enough. Again, everybody has to do it. We get there, no wheelchair access into the house, not house, you know what I mean. And Tony went in and said, my wife's a wheelchair user and there's no wheelchair access, what should we do? And she said, if I didn't turn up, if I didn't get in, if I didn't go, then I would be marked as absent, and that I didn't turn up, and my PIP would be cancelled. So really embarrassingly, Tony had to carry me in over his shoulder like a fireman up the stairs, 2 sets of stairs, into the room with somebody who has absolutely no medical experience whatsoever. So, right, I get awarded PIP. I get awarded full PIP for mobility and living or whatever it is. Fantastic. That's meant to last 3 years, right? I get another letter saying that they want to reassess me. Okay, fine. We'll do that. No problem. Went, did it. Again, absolutely useless, but okay. Then, a few months later, we had a 3rd phone call from them saying that they were going to send a nurse to our home to assess me. So, and I honestly think they did that so that they could actually see that there was a stair lift and wheelchairs and stuff like that. And she came in, and one of our friends used to be an adult social worker. So she came as well, and she just sat on the laptop and took notes the whole time. So that was fine. I was still awarded the full amount, but it's embarrassing, having someone in your home and having to talk about everything, because I use catheters as well. I use catheters, I have a feeding tube, and I have an ileostomy bag. And you're talking with a complete stranger about how these things impact your life, how the pain infects in your life, how many dislocations you have a day. And you tell them, and you can see in their eyes that they don't believe you, that you can possibly dislocate that many times. But it's true, and anybody with heads knows that it's true. Sorry, I've just lost my ring. Well, my ring fingers are so skinny at the minute. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Oh, it's my engagement ring. All right, I'll find it later. It'll be fine. So last year I was in hospital for 6 weeks and 3 days because I was starving and I couldn't keep any water down. So I was admitted. This is when they did my feeding tube. I was fed through a nose tube. I won't go into all the medical terms because I don't know if people know them. So I had a tube that went up my nose, went down the back of my throat into my stomach, and it's got numbers on it, and they have to check every time that it's the same number, because what can happen sometimes is it moves up and it goes into your lungs, which is obviously really dangerous. But yeah, so that's why they check the number every time, how long it is. And I rung the PIP people to tell them that I'd been in hospital, because I didn't know whether you had to tell them or not. Oh no, maybe they rang me. No, they rang me to see if there was any changes, and I said I'd been in hospital for, and whilst I was in hospital with the starving and the food tube and being sick and everything, I had double pneumonia, and I ended up with the intensive care team coming upstairs because I was too poorly. They said to move me, so they literally brought intensive care up to me, and I had a one-to-one nurse, and they were fantastic. But I was very, very, very poorly. It was very frightening. It was horrendous. I was told at one point, because I really couldn't breathe, that I had half an hour for my oxygen levels to rise up, or they were going to intubate me and put me in a coma. That's how serious it was. Unfortunately, because they had this fast flowing oxygen thing. It's massive, but they put it up your nose and it covers your nose, and that raised my oxygen levels, which is, oh god, look at that, it looks awful. That raised my oxygen levels. So I tell the guy that I've been in hospital, and he said, oh, you are meant to tell us. You weren't to tell us at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Explain the whole situation. The pneumonia. Had double pneumonia twice, by the way. We got rid of it, and then it came back, and they thought I had sepsis, and it wasn't. It was pneumonia again. So great, fantastic. So I said, oh yeah, no, I have been 6 weeks, 3 days. And the day, I know you guys know that Tony's had cancer. If you watch my videos, my husband's had bladder cancer. He's had 3 surgeries. He's now having chemotherapy, but the chemotherapy goes directly into the bladder. So it doesn't affect your immune system, and you don't lose your hair, but it leaves you with terrible fatigue. And he had an operation, and then after the operation, we had to wait 6 weeks, and we were like, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Nothing's going to be there. And I sat in the hospital waiting room for 8 hours, which absolutely killed me. But my friend from church took me, which was amazing. But oh my gosh, it absolutely wrecked me. It really did. I got a phone call from Tony, and I knew if he was coming home, it had all gone. If he had to stay in overnight, they had found more tumours. And I got a phone call from Tony. He was out, he was up on the ward, he was all right, but he was staying overnight. And I burst into tears, and I hung up the phone, and I was almost hysterical. I was crying so much. And it wasn't until the biopsies came back that they told us that they were identical to the previous tumours. So they would have already been growing. They were just too small to see. They were not new tumours. They were tumours that were in his bladder before. So he actually had more than 8 tumours. However, that you couldn't see them because they were too small. So that's really good news. And to prevent the cancer coming back, they're doing the chemotherapy. But like I say, Tony is terribly fatigued. So I go home. I'm alone. I've just found out Tony's got more tumours. I'm hysterical. Inside I'm hysterical. I have letters. Open the letter. DWP. They were telling me that I owed them £302 because I'd been in hospital for longer than a month. How outrageous is that? And now I'm at the point, we're talking with my dietitian, and she was talking about if I go back into hospital, we can try and get me on the same ward that I was on last time, because they all know about EDS now, etc, etc. And in my head, I'm thinking, I literally cannot afford to go into hospital right now, because if we lose my PIP, if I go into hospital, we are jeffed. Excuse the language. Sorry, excuse the language. Oh, we're having a moment. Got to turn it up. I don't know if I'm allowed to play this. Probably not. When I was pregnant with Amelia, I used to sing Why There's So Many Songs by Rainbows by Kermit the Frog. I did. Rainbows have nothing to hide. They'll make old and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday you'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Alright, I'll turn it down. Sorry. You can't beat Kermit the Frog playing the banjo, people. Come on! So, I come home, I open the letter. Even now, I got emotional about it. And it says I owe them £302. So I've been so poorly recently that my mum wrote a letter on my behalf, which I signed, and we sent to our local MP, who was really, really good. Sort of conservative, boo, Conservatives, boo. But he was brilliant. And he wrote to them, and they replied and said that we'd done everything right with trying to, stall it and everything. So I rung them a couple of weeks later and said we've sent something, and it had been lost in the office, so they didn't know where it was. So basically, we have to pay this £302. I spoke to a really lovely woman. There was one woman that was really lovely, and she was like, "How much can you afford?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. Like £10 a month, £10 a week, which is £40 a month, but And she said, "Oh no, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. If you're on a low income, we can do better than that." And it's like £3 something a week, which is much more manageable and amazing. But we shouldn't have to pay it. This is the UK. This is the United Kingdom. This is England, and they are charging people. The NHS is a free service, and the fucking Tory government are charging people through the DWP because they are in hospital. Therefore, the NHS is not free to people who have... Sorry, I'm getting really angry. To people who have chronic diseases, the NHS is not free. I have to drill this into you. If you're in hospital for longer than a month, they cancel your PIP. And if they continue to pay it, then you have to pay it back. Therefore, the NHS is not free for people who have chronic diseases. It is... Sorry, excuse my language. I'm so wound up. It's going to be a really long video. It's going to take forever to upload, and I'm very, very sorry about that. But it has to be done. People need to know about this. People need to get angry about this. People need to contact the local MPs about this. If you're super healthy, you don't have to stay away. Get in with it. Come on. We need you. Write to your MPs. Demand that this is changed, because it's disgusting. They are charging people who are critically unwell in hospital their entire PIP. And actually, when I'm in hospital, just a little side note, Tony signs a carer's contract that means that he will do all of my care. He's allowed with me all the time, doesn't have to stay with visiting hours. He does all of the washing, all of my washing, my meds, apart from my fentanyl. It's fentanyl now, it was morphine before, because they have to lock that away. But it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. He signs the carer's contract, he drives over to me, spends the day with me, helps me out and everything, drives back to get Amelia from school. This is a half an hour journey, by the way. Drives back to the hospital so I can spend the evening with Amelia. They have their dinner in the canteen and then they come back and then they go home. That is 4 journeys and 2 meals every day for 6 weeks and 3 days. It is more expensive for us to be in hospital than it is to be at home. And on top of all of that extra, we're whacked with a £302 bill. It is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Right, I'm sorry, my lovies. This is like a 15-minute video. I hope you've all watched it to the end. I really do. Thank you for your support. Lots of love. Bye.